Tape Deck Media.
Hey there, panel pickers. Welcome to the Panel Picks podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dan Bublitz Jr., and with me is our other host, Jeremy Plum. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good.
Good.
Doing really good. Yeah. Can't
I'm
complain.
tired.
Oh,
I had a busy weekend. I went to Tulsa.
yeah. You were in Tulsa. Yeah.
with
How
some
was
friends. It was fun. I did not get to go check out any comic book stores. I did, however, go to a flea market, and they did have a bunch of comics at said flea market. But of course, they, wanted too much money, and I didn't have a ton with me.
that? Fair.
So there was that. But yeah. But it was fun. I had a good time. I wasn't there for comedy. I did do some comedy, but I was mostly there for the World Axe Throwing Championship because my friends were throwing. And
Nice.
so I just went and hung out, and it was a good weekend.
Good. Good.
The one thing that was great about it, we drove out there. I didn't drive. I rode. So guess what that meant? I got to read a bunch of comics on the way out there.
You read anything special?
I got caught up on Cobra Commander, which was good. I like where it's going so far. I finally read Feral issue 1.
Nice.
I'd like to see what happens with it. I think it's too early to really know what where it's going to go. I got to give it another issue or two, but I really do like the art on it. So it very similar to the art from Stray Dogs. I read the first issue, Blown Away, which I really enjoyed. I mean, I didn't read anything that I did not dislike.
Did you
I read Moon Man.
You read Moon Man? Did you read anything else by like a Tom King?
Let's see. I don't think I read any Tom King because I got Red Light. I got caught up on Crave, and then I read Torpedo 1972.
Okay. You didn't read Windhorn?
Nope, I haven't read Windhorn yet. I got it, but I haven't read it yet.
Ah, man. That's fair.
I know. But I just at least I got that much reading done.
Hey, that's a lot done.
Yeah, that was like 11 books that I read this weekend.
Yeah.
I would have read some today on the way home, but we did a lot of partying over the weekend, so I was just exhausted. So I'm I had to do some work on the way home too. So I worked and then I napped. That was mostly my trip home from Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Did you read anything fun and exciting this weekend?
I read a lot of older Superman. And so I read Superman, both volumes of Superman Grounded. It's kind of known as where Superman walks across the country. It tries to tackle some hard-hitting stuff, but like abuse and whatnot, or depression. Some highs and lows in that book. And then I read Superman Kryptonite Nevermore by Dennis O'Neil and Curt Swan. Classic Superman book that kind of merges Superman from the 50s to more of the 60s, instead or late 70s or early 70s, I guess. It's okay. It's a classic, really fantastic Superman book right until the ending where it gets pretty racist.
Ooh.
And it's real unfortunate because up until then, it's honestly a lot of fun, and it was been an easy recommendation. It's a great book until the ending. And other than that, it does make me want to look up more Curt Swan era Supermans. For those of you who don't know who that is if you think of Superman, like classic Superman in the 50s and the 40s, especially all those silly Superman stories that you know of, that's all Curt Swan. That's all his art. And he is the ideal Superman, to the point where DC would even draw over Jack Kirby's drawing of Superman to put in Curt Swan's face of Superman. Like that just was what people expected it to look like for decades. But it's been fun. I've also picked up Ghost World. It's an indie comic that I picked up at a show I was on. I was doing a show at a brewery, and they had a library, and they had a comic book, and I've been reading. I'm halfway through that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a shot.
Had some comics in there. I'm all
Only one. I only had one comic.
You're like, I got this. This is mine.
I got it, and it's a library system, so I'm gonna read it and return it back. So
Oh,
hopefully somebody
nice!
else
It's an
enjoys
actual library system. Oh, that's cool.
it. Yeah, I enjoy
Oh, I
that.
love it. I love it. That's great. I saw, and then today, breaking not well when this comes out, it's not today, but when as the time that we record this, the new Deadpool trailer drops.
Yes.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
What do you think, man?
I as someone who's grown up loving Wolverine, even though I'm not a huge X-Men fan, I've always loved Wolverine. It was a ton of fun. I then saw a lot of people break down the trailer, like Livefield's only feats. Looked cute. Honestly, it looked like a fun trailer. And I also love buddy cop with big 80s or like big 80s ballad behind it. So that was a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm excited. I honestly can't
I'm
wait.
excited.
It'll be a good time.
I think it's gonna be one of the best films of the year as far as I mean, I'm putting a lot of stakes in it, but it's probably the movie I'm most excited about for this year. So I really, really enjoyed the trailer, and
That's
I
fair.
can't wait for July 24th when it comes
That's
out.
gonna be fun. Yeah, I honestly can't wait.
For me, I'm not a big go to the movie theater person to watch movies. I usually wait and for them to come out on streaming services, but I will be going to the movie theater to watch Deadpool.
So I'm a big go to the movie theater guy. Like we even have a drive-in. I try to get to that when I can. Last movie I saw recently was Godzilla and Kong. Big dumb fun. Highly recommend it. Big dumb fun. But yeah, if it's available in theaters, I will go. Sometimes I'll double dip. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but if you're a big old school comedy fan, you should look up Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers?
We're looking at some old like Looney Tune, Buster Keaton style comedy. But it's a guy fighting hundreds of beavers, and it's just him in a poorly constructed beaver suit 100 times, with basically done on a green screen. Does it look the best? Maybe, depending on what you consider the best is, but it looks fun and silly. And I'm it's $5 on Amazon Prime to rent it.
I might have to also point that out to my friend who owns Big Beaver Brewing.
Do it.
Maybe he should be playing that at the brewery.
Honestly, give it a shot. If you love classic comedy, you should give Hundreds of Beavers a shot. And when it comes to theaters, I'm gonna double dip.
Yeah. You'll go to 2 in a row. I used to be that way, but now I got streaming services are so convenient because I can watch it in the comfort of my home. I can pause it when I want. I can, if I want to come back to it, I can do that. I can, a lot of options. So
that's fair. I don't want to pause. I don't want to do anything. Once I'm there, phones are off. It's just still for however long that movie is.
All right. Well, how about we start? Let's talk about at the end of the show, we are going to have an announcement. Just a little, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be making a couple small, slight changes to the show, but we'll talk about that before we get out of here. But right now, how about we talk about what's coming out this week? I looked at the list a little bit. I see a few things that look fun. Nothing really stood out super, to me anyway, nothing really stood out. I mean, and it is the end of April. It is the last new comic book day for April, so that could have something to do with it.
That could
what
be
what are you seeing that you think is going to be?
The first thing I'm really curious about this week is I've been looking for it for months. Mad Cow is producing a Dick Tracy book.
Yep, I remember you mentioned it last week.
Yeah, I'm real excited. Of course, there's a ton of variants. Honestly, it just looks like fun. There's something about Dick Tracy that's really classic and fun, and I kind of got a little hooked once I read the IDW stuff. That's the big one this week. I also am kind of curious about Power Girl number 8, because it has Lobo's daughter Crush on it.
Ooh. One that I just saw that I think could be fun is this one because it's from Kevin Eastman.
Oh,
Is Drawing Blood #1 comes out this
okay.
week.
All right.
And so that could be a fun little
Yeah.
book. The log line is I guess it's kind of okay. When you create a global franchise before you turn 20, what happens next? So it's kind of a look into Kevin Eastman.
Okay.
Too. The legendary co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, also publisher of Heavy Metal magazine, returns to comic with a look into the roller coaster life of a successful comic creator.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like
Oh
a lot of
wait, so it's
fun.
not about him. So that's what the plot line is. It follows a successful comic book creator who's only 20.
Huh. So semi-autobiographical.
Probably. But
Okay.
yeah, that looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, that does look like a lot of fun. Um, the other one I'm looking at is Primer #2. Um, it looks to be like uh, it's a very short run, only 4 issues. Um, it doesn't look like it ties anything into a new, like into an existing continuity or
Mhm.
anything. But yeah, it looks really cute. It looks kind of fun. Um, it looks like to be like a kid who spray paints, and who has new superpowers. And it looks really cute. I don't know. Like I'm trying to be as blind as I can. It's just the art looks fantastic on this, and it being really short and it being looking outside DC continuity makes it look a bit more fun for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, uh, yeah, no, that is seriously it.
We got a
I-
new Rick and Morty coming out.
we
Rick
do
and
have a new Rick
Morty
and
King of
Morty. Yeah,
Balls. This robot plus girl looks like it could be kind of cute. Like
yeah,
Teen Spot.
yeah.
It's and this is an all ages adventure, so that's always a good thing. So safe for the kids.
Mm-hmm. Looks like, oh, of course, Batman Dark Age #2 comes out. I've been interested in that because it's Mark Russell and Mike Allred. I do love Mark
Mhm.
Allred's work. He did Superman. They did Superman Space Age, and there's something so adult contemporary about Mike Allred's work that I
Mhm.
can't wait to see it in Batman. Uh, like 90s adult contemporary, which is such a weird description, but as soon as you see it, it always kind of makes sense. But yeah, no, that one looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then I just saw this that looked. I probably won't get this because I don't read a lot of Star Wars, but I have enjoyed these series. So it's Star Wars Dark Maul, Black,
Yeah,
White, and Red, and I really do. I really like the Moon Knight, Black, White, and Red,
yeah,
and I think they did one for Deadpool as well. Like that's been a fun series. Like um, what they do with that.
nice. Okay,
The artwork is always fun because it's usually black and white and red.
yeah, I've been enjoying those since the Batman Black and White stories. Those are always just a lot of fun.
Oh,
Uh,
and we got the Six Fingers #3 comes out this week. I'm behind. I need to get caught up on that series because there's 2 books. Because we
yep,
still need to circle back. We both need to get caught up on that and
we do
circle
need to
back.
circle back. I think it'd be fun to talk about those when they're closer to done. Um,
Agreed.
yeah. Honestly, yeah, there's some stuff. Honestly, the facsimiles look a lot of fun. Like we have essentially for history fans like me, Green Lantern or Showcase #22, which is kind of one of the first showings of like the new Green Lantern. By new Green Lantern, I mean Hal Jordan. That and the issuing of Barry Allen as the Flash was really the mark of going DC from Golden to Silver Age. and Silver Age being more of a focus on science fiction, and Golden Age being more of a focus on like pulp fantasy. So if you're into facsimiles and you want to like see parts of history and collect it in that way, yes, that's great. The Marvel facsimile this month or this week looks like first appearance of Dazzler. So if you like Dazzler, do it. If you like Hal Jordan, pick up that one.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through too, just to kind of see if there's any trade paperbacks coming out worth mentioning. There's quite a few coming out, but I don't see anything. I guess you got King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Yeah.
That could be a fun one. Got some mini Marvels, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
These are all trades coming out. Punk Rock Karaoke, the graphic novel. A little bit. Like I said, it's kind of a quiet week.
There's one book that I think is going to be a big seller, just like Dracula was.
And
that's Universal Monsters, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, #1, also by Ram V and Dan Waters, Matthew Roberts, and Dave Stewart's. I missed out on Tomb of Dracula. I always loved the Universal Monster stuff, and honestly, my biggest blind spot, like I love Frankenstein a lot. My biggest blind spot is Creature of the Black Lagoon. So I might pick this up, especially if Ram V is attached to it. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a fun time. Pick it up before it gets sold out, because I know the Dracula stuff got sold out super quick.
Yeah, it usually does. People like their vampires.
People do.
Classic, and they really like not only do people like their vampires, but people really like the classic movie monsters.
Yeah.
So you get that classic Dracula, classic Frankenstein, the Wolfman. You got, people are eating that stuff right up.
Yeah, the Universal Monsters, again, there's something you can throw the Universal Monsters. They're so fluid that you can throw them in anything. You can make a classic horror comic. You can make a VHS animated comedy with the Chipmunks with them. And they just kind of blend in with all of it. It works so well.
Yeah,
it's just all about good stories. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. We're keeping it a little shorter this week, just because, like I said, there wasn't a ton coming out. And we wanted to talk about this, our announcement. We wanted to leave a little bit of time. So we just want to let everybody listening, for those of you that listen, thank you so much for listening. I know this sounds like we're about to end the podcast completely with that, the way I said that. That's not the case. However, we are going to be changing some things up a little bit. The main thing we're going to be doing is we want to make this a little more exciting, a little more fun. And so we're going to be doing more visuals with this podcast. So we're going to be making it more of a YouTube show than a podcast. We will still be releasing the audio as the as a podcast, but we're going to be focusing as a YouTube show. So if you really enjoy the podcast, please head over to our YouTube page and subscribe, because we're going to have a lot more visuals. When we talk about a book, we're going to be maybe looking at the book itself, doing some screen grabs of maybe some of the artwork. If nothing else, we're going to at least have screen grabs of the covers. So we're going to be going to make it a little more visual, more like a YouTube show. And yeah, we hope you guys will enjoy that, and I hope you guys will come with us on that. And if you want to really help the show, please tell a friend. Please give us a rating and review. Help us, because when you leave a rating and review and leave the rating and reviews, it helps us push us through the algorithms of the podcast world. So people, when they search for podcasts and shows like this, they'll find our little podcast, so we can grow this show.
Yeah. We would love to hear from you. And here's the thing: it's not going to be a big change, but it's going to be a fun change.
Exactly.
And yeah. And if you're listening to the audio, you'll still get the same great stuff, but
you just won't see the visuals. Yeah, it'll be a little. You just won't see some of the visuals, but that's okay. And I think this is going to be a good change for the show. We want to make it we want to make the show a little more fun and a little more interesting for people. And so that was kind of one of the things we thought would be a good thing to do. So we're going to give it a try and see how it goes.
Exactly.
I'm excited about it because we're also, by doing this, we're going to be increasing our production value just a little bit.
Exactly. Yes.
So we're going to put a little more effort. I mean, we already put in some effort, but we're going to put in even more effort now
Exactly.
into
And
this podcast.
next week is free comic book day as
That's
well.
right. Yes.
Yep.
The first
Saturday.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The first time that we'll be doing it are the new version of this, though, as a more of a YouTube show, will be with new comic book day, our free comic book day coming out. So, because it's always the first weekend of May.
Exactly. I'm excited.
So, yeah. So maybe we'll take a look and see what's going to be available on new comic book day.
Oh yeah, I've already taken a look, and there's a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, there always is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you want to get a hold of us, send us an email at panelpixpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on all social media, panelpixpod. Send us your indie books. Send us your recommendations. We haven't had anybody, at least I don't know. I don't keep up on our social media because Jeremy's taken that hat. So if he doesn't tell me, I don't know. So
that's fair. And I'd love to hear more from you guys. Again, it's panelpixpod on all the social medias. And if you want to hear from me, it's plum_Jeremy. Reach out. Tell me what you like. Do you like old Superman? I do. And I'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And you can find me at Debub Comedy, all social media platforms, and debubcomedy.com. Until next time, keep supporting your local comic book shops.
See ya.
This has been a Tape Deck Media production. Thank you for listening.